And I think in general, flamenco, if we ask ourselves where is the origin, what is actually flamenco? I think flamenco in its basis is expression of yourself. I think that would define the flamenco, whether it be it, traditional or experimental, contemporary fusion. It's always about expressing yourself. I mean, this is a general thing, not just in flamenco, but let's say in flamenco, it's really this expression where everybody says, everybody knows that flamenco is something really deep. I mean, it's kind of a definition of it, let's say. I think that's one thing that we really, everybody has the association when you say flamenco. Oh, that's something deep, let's say.
So great to meet you here on Zoom, Mitja.
You too? Where did you hear about me?
I saw you on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, you came on my newsfeed and I thought, wow,
Super.
I've never seen flamenco dancing done like this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. And you're from Vienna, no?
Yeah, originally from South Africa, but I live in Vienna.
Okay, I've done a couple of performances in Vienna already, actually in the past 5 years, quite often.
Oh, really?
Yeah, different stuff like tablao, original flamenco. I mean, traditional flamenco, and I also did a modern performance in Kunsthalle with a modern artist, and I'm there on the 23rd of February again. Yes.
Amazing. Oh, that's lovely. And I see that you do different styles of flamenco, and my sort of idea of flamenco is really this traditional Spanish flamenco, but you just take it up a different level.
It's like an evolution. It's I've been in contact with flamenco, like the way as it was, but I also like to experiment stuff. I also like modern and contemporary art, so it's always been fun for me, and I find it in a way exploring my body, not just body, mind as well, and trying to do stuff like sometimes I call it architecture of movement more than dance. Actually, it's different project. Yeah.
So originally you did the traditional Spanish flamenco. Did you do it? Are you originally from Croatia?
From Slovenia, yeah. It's here. I mean, I've done a lot of work in Croatia because I lived for 3 years there. I had like a dance school, and so I was, yeah. But originally I'm Slovenian, and I live in Kran. I moved back to Kran like 7 years ago, I think. Yeah. And I work a lot in Ljubljana, but I also work like in Europe, and I work a lot in Croatia as well. But yeah.
So, but flamenco is traditionally a Spanish dance. So
yes.
Yeah. So how did you come to do that?
First, I started dancing Latin American dance, like this competitive dancing, ballroom dancing. Then I just had an idea to broaden my horizons, to see a little bit more of dance. And then after 1 year, I just saw that that's basically stuff that I really like. And already in the beginning, I had some modern flamenco teachers, like experimental flamenco teachers, and I got really excited about that. So I said, I want to do this. And during the years, things developed, and I think it's something where I really find myself very well.
But you really have to, with these things, you really have to understand the basic or the tradition of it to actually break the rules a little bit.
Yes and no. I would say that It's this is actually a very nice question. Of course, I think a lot about this stuff. I think yes, of course, it's very good to know all the basics and to see what flamenco is and where can you go on one hand, but on the other hand, I would say that it also limits you a little bit if you are too stiff in your mind. Let's say my observation. Maybe I'm going too fast with this speaking already. But my observation is that the Spanish people, the Spanish dancers, have a little bit of a problem of going out of flamenco. Of course, because they are so into the tradition, so into the flamenco. I mean, they do good stuff, but I would say that in general they are too what's the word, too tight, too glued
Rigid.
into the yeah.
Mm.
Sometimes, of course, we have different approaches, and everything is an evolution. So I cannot just say judge. No, this is not good. But sometimes I see from foreigners a little bit more of experiment, a little bit more of
Yeah.
maybe not even breaking the rules, because I think breaking the rules is always like okay, you don't need to break the rules, you have to say something with your performance, let's say. And now if it goes outside of flamenco, perfect. If it doesn't, it's also perfect.
And I wonder if it's the same. You can tell me, is it the same where somebody studies classical music and then it's difficult for them to improvise or to switch over to jazz because they are so used to following the notes and doing a specific genre that they find it difficult to let go of that thing.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think it's a very similar thing. Of course, in different levels. Flamenco, let's say, by its origin, by its basis, is actually an improvisation. It should be like that. Of course, it's not always like that. So it's very much similar, because also we've done a lot of projects with jazz. And when you have a classical musician, they all just stick to their notes, and it's not so easy to improvise. They are good musicians. It's not the problem that they wouldn't be good musicians, but they are used to work, in a certain path. In flamenco, I also have this. There are a lot of guitarists, let's say, outside of Spain, which they do very good compositions, good guitar playing, good flamenco guitar playing. But for me, it's impossible to dance like a tablao style, like an improvisation style with them, because they're not used to improvising. They're used to their composition. So basically, I do the choreography based on their composition, on their music. But yeah, but let's say with a musician or a singer and a guitarist that knows how to play flamenco in its original style, in its improvisation style, I don't need to practice with them. We just go on stage and that's it, basically, and we improvise and we have a great fun. And it's the same thing basically as with the classical musicians.
That's amazing, and like you say, you have stepped into this flamenco dancing with already teachers who have done other type of styles with it.
Yeah, I was the first time I went to Spain. I went to Sevilla. I was in the school of Angela Tenza, and I think there was like a substitution class or something with Marco Vargas, and he does stuff a little bit more modern way, and I got really impressed. I remember just like 2 classes or something, and I got really impressed. And afterwards, I was researching at home, watching YouTube, thinking about it, and 3 years it just developed into something It was something, let's say, what also the life brings. I met various people, I did various projects. This basically the basis of my work at the moment is with Fernando Leria Jimenez. He's from Madrid, and he's a musician with double bass and electronics. So we work in stuff like uh, it's also a little bit of improvisation, but it's a lot of I would say prolonging the body through the sound system.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw a few videos of yours on Instagram, which I find so interesting. And with these type of projects that you do you have already specific idea in your mind? Do you do like a basic choreography, and then when the music starts, then you just improvise, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's basically something like that. I mean, the whole project works. Usually, I start, let's say, if we talk about a whole project, I start the project with like a philosophical idea, let's say, something that keeps me motivated, that keeps me in a flow. That would be the basis, the glue of everything. And later, yeah, I do some structure. It has to be some structure because it has to have a flow where you want the other. It has to have a direction, let's say. And later, yeah, some stuff is improvised.
And I was thinking when I watched some of your videos, I was thinking it's really there's this thing about Irish dancing also, where it's
Mhm,
with tapping and these
mhm.
rhythms, and also tap dancing and so on. So there's something about these rhythms that really that we love, that people love. And I think about also in South Africa, there's communities and these tribes that use their feet,
Uh,
that their dancing is based on the way they tap their feet and so on. So um, is this your sort of experience? Do people, are they attracted to this? The fact that the sound that your feet makes in
ye-
these dances.
yes. Okay, again, we are talking about flamenco traditional and flamenco experimental, but basically, yeah, I think this is a general idea that flamenco is the tap dance, which is, of course, and it's virtuous. It's really, it's it's attractive, let's say. Yeah. So the footwork is a big part of flamenco, and there's always a question: what defines the flamenco? I mean, what if you cut off the footwork? Is it still flamenco? But yeah, it's a big part of it, and the crowd, the public likes it. I mean, I also like it. It's a sort of an expression, and let's say in traditional flamenco, I will use it as a part of music, as playing with music. It's like a percussion.
Ah, yeah.
And in, let's say, in this project, it's called Entropy, which I work in with Fernando Leria Jimenez. It's I use it outside of rhythm. I use it outside of this basic concept of flamenco. I use it like a second mouth. So basically, I can talk with my mouth, or I can talk with my feet. Um, and I find that really liberating because you really, the feeling is that you talk on the floor, you talk with your feet, and it's a different approach, let's say.
So, but you use your arms and your body as well in these
Mhm,
movements, because
mhm.
that's something about flamenco that. So I know Irish dancing, it's basically you don't use arms and body.
It's
You
it's more
just yeah.
yeah.
But with the flamenco, you use your body as well.
Yes, flamenco is it's really universal, body-wise, fit-wise, and expression-wise as well. And I think in general, flamenco, if we ask ourselves where is the origin, what is actually flamenco? I think flamenco in its basis is expression of yourself. I think that would define the flamenco, whether it be it traditional or experimental, contemporary fusion. It's always about expressing yourself. I mean, this is a general thing, not just in flamenco, but let's say in flamenco, it's really this expression where everybody says, everybody knows that flamenco is something really deep. I mean, it's kind of a definition of it, let's say. I think that's one thing that we really, everybody has an association when you say flamenco. Oh, that's something deep, let's say. And of course, it uses body as well because it's a dance. It has a lot of it's really broad, let's say. One of it, flamenco is so it's from Spain. It's from South Spain, let's say, but it has influences from all over the Spain, and also influences of ballet. I mean, some of the flamenco it has kind of Spanish character dances, folklore dancing, and so it's like it's rich in body movement, very specific body movement. But yeah, it's some people say in the beginning when they start flamenco that the coordination of everything is really hard.
I can imagine, yeah, because you use different parts of your body in different ways then.
Mm-hmm.
And then and the castanets, do you call them castanets?
Yes, castanets, or in Spanish they call castañuelas or palillos, which is like small wood. And yeah, I use them. Basically, what we about flamenco, yeah, another thing. So what we imagine with flamenco. Often we see groups which have performances which are danza estilizada, which is flamenco ballet, let's say. And there is more use of castanets. And here in flamenco, it's also used, but it's not the primary thing which would always be present in flamenco. I use them. I also teach them. But yeah, it's another percussion instrument, which is, of course, attractive.
Yeah. I so love what you're doing. I mean, and I've never seen this before. And you're actually the first flamenco dancer I'm talking to. But these videos that you do, and you is that on purpose? That it's not just staged, you know, that you do it sort of like music videos.
I'm really interested about dance, of course.
Yeah.
And what to do with the dance. Of course, one thing is in real life, one thing is on stage, and there's another dimension, which is the dance movie or the screen dance, whatever you call it, which has so much more variations. It's different. We have different aspects, different angles, different everything, different what you want to do. And with a movie, if I do a movie, I prefer to do it something which is not just a documentary of dance, like a documentary of a choreography. I prefer to do it with an added value, I would say, let's say. So just to tape it on stage, for me, it's okay, but I can see that live. Of course, it's good to be documented. It's good to have it on video, but I don't see any added value. Like, I mean, you can see it live, or you can see it on here. It's the same eyes, nothing. So I prefer to do some experiments also in the movie, in the dance movie, in the screen dance. That's why I kind of choose. I mean, it's this. I always choose different places. I try to do different versions, different stuff. Of course, always is the problem with the budget. That's always we do the minimum budgets, but okay, it doesn't matter because sometimes with minimal budget, it's worth more, I would say. But yeah, what I want to say is that with the screen dance, what I want to do is take the spectator, take the public into a different dimension, a bit different. Not just see, okay, so this is a background which is different. No, I don't want just the different background. I want a different atmosphere, different view, different approach and stuff. Something that will inspire me to see it as well.
But that's beautiful. I absolutely love that you do that, because you sort of see that with music videos, and it tells the story, or it helps telling the story, and it makes, it touches all the senses, and the way you do it like that, it also does the same thing, sort of you get into that feeling.
Of course, the video is also we see the final thing and we say video, but actually the process is like this. You do a lot of material, you take a lot of material, record a lot of material, but later in the editing, there is so much more possibility because you don't even imagine, then it becomes something totally different. At first, I think I'm going to do this, and then in the end, with different cuts, it's a different movie, and that's why I also like that. Some movies I edit myself, and some movies I let other people edit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's part of the creative process then for you.
Yeah.
And I also, another picture that I saw was where you were dancing on a piece of wood, and children sitting around, and there was a orchestra as well. What I wanted to say was young audiences, children. Do they are they interested in this type of thing? Do you teach young children as well?
Not so much. Flamenco is more for adult. I have three teenagers actually, which are really up to it, and it's good to work with children. We used to have a children group, but at the moment, no, it's not so. It's not so popular. I think actually it's okay with flamenco. I never push children into flamenco. For me, it's okay if they start at 13, 14, let's say. It's totally okay. And before that, they can do ballet or other types of dancing. But yeah, it's not so. In Spain, of course, it is. In Spain, you have groups of children, and a lot of children starting with the age of 5, 6, or 7. But here, we have it's more about people from 30 to 40, let's say. That's the basis, and then we also have other age groups, but no, not so. I'm interested. I mean, it's because flamenco is by itself a mature thing. It's not like something just for. It's not so much entertainment. It's really about. I don't know. I would say it's a bit more mature than anything else in a way. It has this aspect.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, and do you think it's important to have other dance backgrounds to be able to do it?
Yeah. I would say it's very good. I mean, you also have dancers which have no background, just do flamenco, which is also okay. But let's say I have a background of ballet. Actually, later I started taking classes, and it helps me a lot. And also about modern dance. And of course, if I do modern stuff, it's good to have some modern background. So yes, it's quite important because of your physique, because of your balance, because of understanding everything. It's good to have. A lot of people do ballet classes, and it's an important thing, I think.
Okay. And as a child, did you do dancing?
No, I started quite late.
Really?
I started dancing with I think I was 22 years old. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So it was late, but I worked a lot. So basically, I made up for that. Let's say.
Okay. And did you play an instrument? Did you come from a musical family, or what led you to dance?
Yeah, that's a that's a good question. I did some instrument. It was like the accordion, but not much. Actually, I'm a black sheep of the family because I'm the only artist, so it's not really from the music family. But I was surprised actually that I didn't start dancing before because it was really burning inside of me, and maybe I was too shy to do anything. I don't know why actually. It was, I mean, I stopped asking myself already that, but yeah, it's
It's
just
a
once I had this opportunity to go, and then I started, and I'm really glad that I
amazing.
decided for that. Yeah.
No. And it also shows, sometimes people say, oh, you have to start. I mean, there's an advantage starting when you're younger, but what you're doing on that level, it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Mm. So tell me, Mitja, what are the wishes still for you for the future?
Uh, Yeah, the wishes. I mean, let's skip the general wishes of the peace in the world. And as for my professional development and career, I would like to have more performances, to work on different stages, to work with different audiences, have fun with the projects, and experience stuff, and have different opportunities, and to sorry, I'm looking for the word, to have, yeah, to have fun, to enjoy basically the dance.
Do you want to collaborate with uh, other uh, genre, people, musicians with other genres? Would you like to sort of expand to try different things?
Yes, of course. I mean, I already am working the same thing. Maybe I would. I really love to do this with electronics, which is basically the electronics reacting to my body, to my footwork percussion. That's something which I really enjoy the most. I also do stuff with looper and with different effects, which I do solo project. And I think what I also like, I would like to do some project with the classical music, maybe with cello. And so I love classical music. And we did this with my students. We did this Vivaldi video. It was on the Four Seasons, and I've always enjoyed that. I also did stuff with Bach, and
Really? Oh, amazing.
it's I really enjoy that because it's really good, especially this Baroque music, which is really rhythmical. Really, it's amazing. I love it.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I'm following you and watching what you're doing. Amazing work. I love this absolutely this style that you're doing.
Thank
So
you.
congratulations for that.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your time, and yes, continue all this wonderful work that you're doing.
Thank you. I'm glad talking with you, and we'll be following you and seeing your interviews. And hope to see you next time in Vienna.
Oh, that would be great. I would love to come and see a performance.